not everyone is talented enough to share unknowingly or knowingly what they are perceived or they are capable of themselves. One thing I find the current parents not doing is giving freedom of decision to the kids. It is very okay to fail, because there it's not a failure, it's a learning process. Education plays an extremely important role, but not scoring in that. Why is it that a man has to look outside when he can blindly trust his home, his children being built up with an educated wife? Gender is not what I am looking out for my kids to differentiate it. हम कुछ growth कर रहे हैं. Are we trying to do a tie-up? Are we buying new property? Is there some machinery coming in picture? Whatever it is, know what are you doing. Not being just a sleeping partner with the company, an active independent director with the company where you are playing a role, creating an image is extremely important to enter, get an opportunity. First time selling art online. A new concept in India. Content, the conceptualizing, the artist being on board, to display of paintings, to selling them to art buyers was a journey. Learning, rediscovering, understanding who you are, and being happy in what you do is what is the essence, I think, has been my journey in whatever industries have changed or whatever have done.
Welcome to Where Leaders Thrive, the podcast which dives in the minds of business owners to shape the future. And with this, it's very important that we keep learning and sharpening our leadership curves. And that's where we have here with us. So we have here with us Dr. Sonika Shah, who is the image consultant, who is the leadership coach, and moreover, she's a wonderful mother of 2 lovely daughters. And I think that was, something which connected, very quickly to me with you, Sonika.
Thank you very much, Divya. It's lovely to be on the podcast, and I'm very happy to share whatever you ask in, and let's start.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you for accepting our request and being here with us. So, Sonika, to start with your journey, and I have been, kind of seeing your journey for last over 4 years now. I'm really curious and excited to know, how did you start from your entrepreneurship journey to your leadership journey and now to creating the impact with a lot of leaders? So please speak about that.
It's a journey to be rethought about, because I've never come across rethinking about how did I come to where I am today. But today I take that as an opportunity to do so. I would say I've been brought up in a Jain family where girls are expected to do some things and so on and so forth. But I was too blessed to have a very broad-minded and well-thought father who treated me like an individual than just like a girl. And my dreams were like, I want to be independent and do something wonderful in my life. And what could be better than just getting married with your own money? With that thought, I started working after my 10th as a counselor, and my process, my journey of being who I am today started with a thought that, okay, let me just put in a little effort and see if I can do what I'm planning to do with a predefined, unplanned goal.
Right.
And just seeing that, okay, what am I good in? I'm from a convent, so English is better. Let's start with counseling. So that itself, and when I look back today, I realize that it started with understanding myself, my skill sets, and seeing that how well I use that in my journey to be who I am.
Super.
In that process, again, one thing I realize now that when I was being a counselor, I understood that there is something new which I need to understand, because if I need to counsel that well, how well that subject matter which is taught in a computer institute would work for that individual would be my expertise. So I learned the topics there and then became a trainer in that institute. Way back it was Data Pro, well known as Aptech and NIT, which is right now. So at that time I became a trainer there on all relational database management systems. And then opportunity starts coming and I started learning more, taking those opportunities, worked on SAP in converting their ERP in Siemens, then went in a process of learning more softwares but realized no, that's not my happy zone. Because way back I realized I have a limited time, that I don't know what is my future after marriage. So let me also enjoy and love what I do. So then I completed my graduation, did my diploma in business management, had a few 4 years of experience by then, and joined an advertising agency as a project coordinator. Again, different field.
Exactly.
Learning, rediscovering, understanding who you are, and being happy in what you do is what is the essence, I think, has been my journey in whatever industries have changed or whatever I've done. So it started with a job, which was a very basic part-time job, then took out a different trainer role, then worked into implementation, then came into people relation, and that's how my journey had been till I was a project coordinator with AIM Advertising in Mumbai. Throughout the journey, I realized that there is always something new to learn. So could be Corel Draw, Photoshop, PageMaker. That time I was working in 1997, 98, 99 on an Apple Macintosh, which was a privilege for a few. And it was a lovely pleasure to do that too. Why I'm telling all this is, when something new comes, the first thing is to be out of your comfort zone.
Super.
Second thing is to understand how well you can overcome your own expertise, your own capabilities, and what more can you learn to make a better output out of all of this. I think somewhere my upbringing, my family, my just to do something nice before I re-enter into a new journey in my life made me do what I did.
Super.
In 1999, along with the director of the company, we started the first internet art gallery with the name Painternet. First time selling art online. A new concept in India.
Absolutely.
And the content, the conceptualizing, the artist being on board, to display of paintings, to selling them to art buyers was a journey. And it is something I'm very proud of, and I really think it's a growth or a personality enhancement in who I am today. Got married, worked in Thomas Cook before that as an international tour man. There has been too many industries I've jumped into.
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking.
And that too only because I was not sure what my future is taking me to. But not miss out with an opportunity which is coming right now. It works, it doesn't work, but at least I'm enjoying it. I'm having a new accomplishment to be who I am better. And that's how the journey has been.
Super.
Till I got married, yeah.
Okay. So, what made you enter into the coaching, leadership, and again, very, very important, what made you do your PhD after, when your daughters are already in college? Yeah.
Being in a working environment before marriage and after marriage, being in an entrepreneur journey, I could see both the aspects in which a person is playing a role. In this process, I realized there were some pain points I could not find a solution myself. Better being a leader for my office staff, better being a manager for my subordinates and colleagues. In this time, I used to strive to be equal with the responsibilities and the role I'm performing. But somewhere there was a huge gap of doing the right thing and doing it in the right manner. I was looking out for someone to help me in that process with my husband's entrepreneur journey. And then I realized that yes, I can understand niches. I can understand where the problem rises. But I'm not able to solve it myself, so why not take some knowledge, some information to go there. So I started my journey as an image consultant when image consulting was not a profession in India, 2009, 2010, very newly introduced.
Absolutely.
So my initial time went into getting awareness and all. But in that journey, I realized that creating an image is extremely important to enter, get an opportunity. But unless and until you're a personal brand, you cannot take your image to the expectation it has put forward to people. Your perception should be very correlated to the goals you're performing, the aspirations you have, and your personal brand needs to actually work for you instead of you working for it.
Very interesting.
And that's where I understood I need to make my expertise into getting the top people who are influencers, who are market leaders, who are role models, to actually be a best opportunity for people to look up to. And then leadership transformation was one topic which was very correlated to what my experiences was and what was the need gap which need to be analyzed, paid attention to, and that's where it came in.
Super. And I think you very aptly mentioned the gap, the leadership gaps. And I am a big fan of Robin Sharma, and I keep kind of listening to his podcasts, videos, books. One thing I always take from him is there are very few leaders at the top, and the world needs more leaders. And I think what you are on a mission is something really a direction that's going to or it can say that it really is going to help a lot of leaders unleash their own potential.
True that.
And see the world from a very different lens. And we all have a lot of capabilities, abilities, competencies. I think during our day-to-day activities, day-to-day monitoring, managing, we forget who we really are. And I think that's where wonderful people like you help people or help leaders to unleash those potential and identify and look at themselves from a very different lens.
I agree to you, Divya. It's not only unleashing their potentials because they know what their potentials are. They are not able to project it with an ease without working to project it. It is not a habit piling done with them with a very grassroots level. Mostly leaders who are there today have come down as a basic entry zone to a topmost level.
True.
Some people have educated and come down to that level with some top managerial experience. But who is the leader? Why do you call someone a leader? A person who walks the talk, a person who inspires, a person who can create more leaders, a manager who is a coach, a leader who is a coach.
Right.
Not everyone is talented enough to share unknowingly or knowingly what they are perceived or they are capable of themselves. Here is where we play a very important role.
Right.
A director, you are a director in so many companies, independent director in so many companies. You might have seen so many people there are actually extremely talented, extremely hardworking. But when they are actually trying to do the same thing with someone else or projecting it to people or helping their subordinates come up, they are not able to do it that easily, that proficiently. And that's where with leaders, it is very important to work with them, sidelining them to just help them to, okay, now is the time you need to change this, because they are so amazing in what they do.
True. I absolutely agree.
And their
with
responsibilities are so high that they feel, let me just finish my responsibility. When am I going to work for all of this? Why not make it a second skin and just let it happen like a fluke?
Super. Amazing. So, Sonika, Sanjog, your husband, he is into a family business. Now, how do you see the Indian family business ecosystem, the role that women are playing in those family businesses, and what is it that needs to change, especially the role or the participation of women in the family business? And again, when women are playing that role, how they have to think from a very different perspective.
Divya, Sanjog, my husband, he runs an international marble business with the name Adi Marble in Pune. His journey has been out for first entrepreneurship. So I've seen that converting into a complete family business where I being involved, my kids being involved, and other people coming in role there. Basically, I feel any business run by a man or a woman at home also plays a very important role.
Interesting.
Because if she is not the nurturer, the conditioning provider for leaders to happen, it is not taken on hold.
True.
Saying that as one aspect, women need to play a better and more stronger role visibly and in running the company equally.
Equally.
What happens is they say, इतना कर लिया हो गया अभी घर संभाल लेती हूँ. Most importantly, yes, it is important, but start delegating. And start not being just a sleeping partner with the company, an active independent director with the company where you are playing a role. Because basically when you're taking care of the house, you are running a business in a different manner, in a different role form. But now you need to implement those information or knacks with understanding the governance and correlating it with the family business. You know why a woman makes a very big importance to an independent role in the company or a directorship role? I'm saying not just a position.
Non-executive director.
Non-executive
you're not part
director.
of execution.
No, you're not. But you're a decision maker.
Right.
And you're implementing or providing information there. Why does that play a very important role?
Yeah.
Because she belongs. When she runs a house, she's not a part of it. She runs the place. She understands details, intricacies. She has been there, but not on a more governance load. And education in that level will help her understand how difficult it is for that person, the back-end support she has, and secondly, how well she can play a little difference, but change a bigger ball game there. Negotiation, product management, material, implementation, everything she's anyways doing in the house.
Correct.
She just needs to understand the technical aspects and be there, listen, understand, implement, and give suggestions. Equally, I would say the husband needs to play a role in giving her the openness to do that. Start with a basic discussion on a dining table कि ये हो रहा है, तुझे क्या लगता है? Let her start small opinions on that level and then go on and make her more active in the business. Because somewhere down the line, there is nothing a woman can't do. I very strongly believe. Only thing is, she needs to come out of a comfort zone. She needs to get an opportunity and take that opportunity.
And be aware.
110%. Learning is extremely important.
True.
Being aware, constantly learning, upscaling your skills and your information is both important.
Absolutely.
And if you,
go ahead.
if you do that, you are completely feeling confident about what you're providing. And that confidence is not what anyone else can give you. It is self-done.
True.
With a self-understanding, if I can take it on a dining table and give an information which could change his business, I can do it better in his boardroom.
Super. In fact, I'll tell you two things which actually resonate very, deeply on this. Number one, when I have spoken to few regulators, especially Ministry of Corporate Affairs, where a lot of investigations are happening, whenever there are frauds, and I've heard from the officers in the ministry that when they interrogate women, because they were directors on the boards, women are clueless what papers they've signed. And this is something very, very important, that if you are a director on the board, have a complete trust and faith on, whether it's your son, husband, brother, father, but be vigilant at least what you're signing. Number one. Number two, the family businesses or the directors or the entrepreneurs definitely look forward, to grow their business. And when they're growing, they want more leaders to come in. And they identify and search talent outside.
True that.
Why not you search a talent in-house, groom them to a level that they take care of the role what you want them to play, so that you are free to take up lot of other things, going out and doing the things which you wanted to do but you're not able to do. So it's kind of, and again, almost 80% of the businesses in India are family owned. So just imagine if you are grooming leaders inside your organization or inside your family, you will have far more, kind of growth opportunities coming up for you.
Two things. One, which you said, they need to be vigilant to understand what they are signing. They need to also ask, why am I signing?
Right.
Because ये क्या है, ये हम पैसा ट्रांसफर कर रहे हैं, इसीलिए आपका साइन चाहिए. दे दिया, पूछ लिया, डिजिलेंट बन गए. बट ये पैसा क्यों ट्रांसफर कर रहे हैं? हम कुछ ग्रोथ कर रहे हैं. आर वी ट्राइंग टू डू अ टाई अप? आर वी बाइंग न्यू प्रॉपर्टी? इज देयर सम मशीनरी कमिंग इन पिक्चर? Whatever it is, know what are you doing equally.
Very important.
Secondly, when we are talking about a family growth, why is it that a man has to look outside when he can blindly trust his home, his children being built up with an educated wife? Why not train her and get it on the board? Exactly. It is not her lookout to get on the board, it is your push which is lacking.
Can I tell something to the audience? I heard somewhere and I experienced somewhere that women were part of the boardroom, but they were outside the boardroom. They were coming to the boardroom after the board meetings were over. And that after board meeting, their presence was to take care of the directors who are coming from outside to take care of their food. They are namesake on the board. And I'll tell you, this is something which shocked me. If you are a director on a board, what role you are playing? I mean, if you don't, or if you're not required on the board, simply be not there. But don't be there just for the namesake.
So, because of this, I would put it forward. And today, to all those people who are actually listening this podcast or on the YouTube, a very important request to all the people who are on the top management. Go home and find the person who can take charge of this. Put them to MMB, get them trained in womb, and let them be the next woman director on board, just not taking care of the people after the board meeting, but being a part of the decision making, or at least listening to what the growth is going on. Because you are the people who are going to take that charge. You cannot expect a woman to fight for it also. Take that chance and you will see you being less stressed, getting more options and a better support system. What do you say, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for highlighting that. So, Sonika, I think, it's been wonderful conversation with you. I would also love to know from you, your role as a parent. You are a daughter, you are a daughter, you are mother, and as a mother, how have you been shaping the future leaders? And I know you have wonderful dynamic, daughters. I've, seen your journey. So please speak on that, because the role, probably the way we do our conditioning, and you said very rightly, your father never, differentiated you being a daughter. And I think same is with me. We are blessed to have wonderful parenthood. Our parents and the way, we are shaping, our future leaders. But not everyone gets that opportunity. And a lot of times we pose our conditioning, our thoughts on the next generation. So what are your thoughts on that?
I would just, more than putting up my thoughts, I'll tell you how and what I thought about.
Right.
I have worked in the professional world 10 years before marriage. And then I thought, what is it that can I add with my current life, what my parents did to me and more. One thing I realized, that gender is not what I am looking out for my kids to differentiate into. I do not only look that they need to be academically successful. They need to be equally social. They need to equally pay attention on their discipline level. They need to be groomed well. They need to have self-love, and they need to have their happiness zone.
Super.
My working has been with these 5 fundamentals. Whenever I shout, I put forward any rules, I set any deadlines, that are these 5 things paid attention to? If not, they are not important.
Very nice.
If you are not educated, you might do nothing or everything. You cannot be a better person.
True.
You cannot provide anything more to the society or do better good for the country.
True.
Either of it, education plays an extremely important role, but not scoring in that.
True.
There is a huge difference between being an educated person and being a knowledgeable person.
Such a deep meaning to it.
Knowledge is extremely important, and I put that with my kids, with their food, with their caretaking, with their house, with their finance. Equally, I put forward to my daughters to be financially educated, financially understanding the current finance situation, the GK, and what it is that will get them to understanding how the world is working.
Interesting.
This is not a journey. It is a everyday thought process. I don't tell my daughters, खाना बनाना सीख लो, ये अच्छी ज़रूरी है. They might tell me, मेरे को नहीं बनाना है, मैं कल से कुक रख दूंगी. मैं उल्टा बताती हूँ उनको. You like to eat? Cook for yourself. You want to be happy? Help others. If you want to be recognized, recognize others. Be grateful to actually understand what more you can do.
Super.
These basic things have to be actually acted yourself, because they will listen and forget. But they see कि mama meets 10 people, dad meets 15 people, and whenever we go anywhere, everyone knows them. That means I need to do the same thing. If someone is coming home, my mom doesn't serve herself first, she serves the people first, and she will make an effort with her daily routine to host parties, to connect with more people. She will plan our cousins meets every year, even though everyone is at all different places in the world, studying at different zones, but she'll plan a vacation of 10 days together with everyone. She'll make that effort to do that, because that bonding is going to stay more.
Stay more.
So human touch is what I believe very important for my kids. And these basic values in making them who they are.
Super.
Studying, listening to music, playing, sports, dancing. You might be an expert, but being a part of it will give you more opportunities to connect to people, network, have a reason to talk, have a dialogue to perform, and a connect to establish.
Super. I think so nicely you covered the entire parenting journey in such a lucid way. Super.
I'll just add one more thing.
Yeah, please.
All of this is okay, and most of the parents are doing this. One thing I find the current parents not doing is giving freedom of decision to the kids.
True.
A well thought discussion done with them and leaving that chance to them कि you decide. We will support you. You fail and we'll stand for you. These two things, very, very importantly. You take a call and then we will say how better it is or what you need to do more to get that achieved.
Very nice, point. In fact, that takes me, to a startup journey, because today we see, and there is a proven statistics that 95% of the businesses fail. And in India, as the culture or as the tradition, we don't allow businesses to fail, or the failures are not seen the way, it's a business call. Or we have seen, so many failures, and we always keep about their, failure stories. We don't talk about how they could have done better, or, probably we are not talking about failures as a learning experience, and we categorize them as failures. And that is something what really needs to change if we really have to make the next generation more actively working on their vision, their aspirations, and what they really love to do. And if you don't allow them from a very childhood to fail, accept failures, and give them confidence that whatever you're doing, we are there for you. Go ahead and explore. And I think even at a, when I really talk of at the policy level, even regulators need to change their policies to that level where we are speaking, or where the government is speaking and accepting the failures of the businesses as a norm. Allow them to fail, give them that ecosystem which allows them to fail, explore, experiment, innovate, and then build successful businesses. I think that is something very, very important point what you mentioned.
I agree with you, Divya. Very importantly, you know how the failure problem starts in. I personally don't consider a failure. I always tell my kids and my staff or my employees and my clients and everyone, it's not okay to fail. It is very okay to fail, because there it's not a failure, it's a learning process.
True.
बिकॉज आप सिर्फ फेल होके यार मैं फेल हो गया, मेरे को ये हो नहीं पाया, पहले सोचो क्यों नहीं हो पाया. अंडरस्टैंड योर कैपेबिलिटीज एंड देन सी कि फेलियर को आपने ओवर एक्सपेक्टेशन तो नहीं रखा था इसलिए फेलियर हो गया. क्योंकि फेलियर को एक्सेप्ट करो ये एक अलग पहलू है, बट even understanding this aspect कि failure doesn't come when everything is attended to, and the failure come, it's okay, but you are not taking that effort, you are not putting that things forward, and then you are like मैं तो fail हो गया, no I can't do anything more.
Correct.
No, analyze it first.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we can actually consider it a next stone of learning process, because जब तक आप fail नहीं होते हो आपको पता नहीं चलता कि और कौन सी चीजें नहीं करनी है next venture में.
True.
And we have so many stories throughout the world where people have done it at different age level, different financial level, where they have fall, tried, succeed. Don't wait for opportunity, find your own way out.
Absolutely.
And I think even the policies are started regulating to accept failures with people in other zones. Startups also get a second opportunities. They are also funded again. And a mentor comes in board to find out where it had been wrong, corrected it, and then taken it forward.
Yeah.
Failure is okay. Success is good, but the journey is more important.
Very aptly mentioned.
And journey needs to be studied and then taken forward.
Interesting.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, this kind of brings us to the closure of this podcast. Now, my last question for you before we close is about what are your thoughts on the platforms like MentorMyBoard, and any suggestions for us to improve?
Okay. Thoughts on MentorMyBoard. Believe me, I've been a part of MentorMyBoard and Voom when it started out with a basic thing. I think it is the most needed and apt requirement right now, because MentorMyBoard is connecting three important aspects of this field. One is creating leaders by giving them governance information, giving them mentors who can support them in the things they require. Secondly, connecting into people who are looking out for directors.
Correct.
Having a platform where there is an exchange of ideas, networking, and connecting the right people at right time. Normally, who are put on independent directors? People, अरे ये मेरे पहचान की है, मैंने उसको उधर देखा है, वो उधर आ जाएगी, वो उसी को ले लो. You know how much is the fish pond really available for you to pick up? MentorMyBoard is providing that.
True.
Similarly, if you don't opt for options outside, where are you going to get new talents? You are in the same journey. A person has might have a lot of resources but a limited time to provide it. Why not take it from more people and get benefited? Now governance is also saying you need more women on board.
True.
So MentorMyBoard is providing you everything on a platform. And what more to be an opportunity to take that forward. In fact, when I'd been seeing a lot of directors and things, I feel like for my profession, why am I so closely connected to Voom and MMB? You might be highly intellectual with information, knowledge and resources. But if people can identify you in a group, how well are you taking it forward?
Correct.
How is an opportunity coming to you? We normally say that every person would like to recall, अरे वो कौन थी उसको मिलते हैं, उसने कुछ बात ऐसे की थी, कुछ ऐसा प्रेजेंस किया था कि मुझे लगता है वो बोर्ड पे होगी तो फायदा होगा.
True.
So working on your personal brand and creating your image, working towards it is extremely important. That's where I play a role into Boom.
Super. Absolutely. Thank you so much for wonderful conversations.
We'll cut it. You have a question which you didn't take care of. Independent directors के meet के बारे में. What was my opinion there and how was the event?
Which event? Women Directors Conclave.
Yeah. You said you wanted to cover that.
Yeah.
So we'll take that and then we'll finish it out. Yeah.
Perfect. So Sonika, you had attended Women Directors Conclave where Finance Minister had graced the occasion, and so what are your thoughts about the initiatives like Women Directors Conclave and Independent Directors Summit, what we keep doing? Because a forthcoming event is going to come up in November. So I would like to know your experience and thoughts on that.
I have been on all the 3 events which was conducted, from our finance minister to all the dignitaries you had called in. I realized one very important aspect there. Women who are currently directors are opportunity given to be on more. And the room was filled with more aspiring ones who are capable, who have the zest, who are ambitious, talented. And being there has given them opportunity to enter more doors. So this place, this conclave, helps people to not only connect with new people and have a good networking done, but being a part of this will also knock your opportunities to grow more. It is also very encouraging to see leaders talking that come, be a part.
Right.
It is not just important to be on board directors, but it is equally to perform there. So use your knowledge and come there, because we are waiting. Are you ready?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. With this, we come to an end of this very, very interesting podcast. And thank you for being here with us and sharing your valuable insights.
Thank you very much, Divya. At the end of it, I would say that whatever is your journey, be your own sculptor. Find the best version of how you can perform. Take help. Have mentors on board. Have coaches on board, because they will make your leaders do their job more effectively, more efficiently, and they'll help you find more leaders to run your business multifold.
100%.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.